The E3 floor show opens up in just another couple days, and we've got press conferences starting as soon as tomorrow. So before that whole thing kicks off, I wanted to go over the 5 games that I'm most excited to learn more about. These are games that we've only gotten opening trailers for yet, and teasers, and no actual gameplay. Starting with Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. We got the initial trailer for this a couple months ago, and we haven't really learned a whole lot outside of just the bare basics. The fact that the game takes place 2 years after the events of Human Revolution and will star, once again, Adam Jensen. One thing really interesting about the trailer is that it does show Adam using a lot more special abilities that weren't present in the past game, including a ridiculously fast teleport dash move, the ability to turn himself into sort of like a hardened diamond thing to resist damage, and having built-in weapons such as having a Peps blaster in his actual arm, which, if all these actually make their way into the real game, could be really exciting. Given the fact that Square Enix is having its own dedicated press conference this year on Tuesday after the Nintendo one, this looks like one of the games that we will more than likely get a little more glimpse at, or at least I hope we do. Second up is a game that shares its genre with Deus Ex, and that's Cyberpunk 2077, which, sadly, I really don't think we're going to actually see anything new on that this year, but I really want to. This is from the same guys that just released The Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red, and as a result, they're still kind of busy with that. They're still working on expansion packs for Witcher 3, so there's still going to be some time dedicated to that, but since Witcher 3 has fully come out now, it might actually be time for them to start pushing a little more information out for Cyberpunk, which would really also be in their favor as well now, given the fact that they're riding so much momentum from The Witcher 3 having sold 4 million copies in just 2 weeks. This is honestly one of the less likely games we're going to see, but it's definitely one that I want more information on. Third up is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, we did get a trailer as well as just a little bit of gameplay for this last year, and it was just recently revealed that the game is in fact not a sequel being called Mirror's Edge 2, but is in fact either a reboot or just a reimagining of the first game. It's not entirely clear if it's a separate story, prequel, but it's not a direct sequel to the first game. Like I said, we did get a little gameplay of this last year, but it was really just little minor snippets and didn't give us the full scope of what this new version might actually handle like compared to the original. Now, appropriately at number 4 is of course Fallout 4, which was just announced a couple weeks ago. Bethesda is going to be the first press conference this year on Sunday night, so hopefully that's going to be a large part of it. Some of the main questions glaring at us obviously are how the art style has changed, because the trailer did look a lot more cartoonish, not heavily cartoony, but definitely more so than the drab looks of Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and whether or not the game is in fact having a fully voiced protagonist and what kind of impact that's going to have on players' options and freedoms of choice. So it would definitely be really interesting to see actual gameplay, especially if the game is teased to be possibly coming out as soon as this year. Now, last but not least is a game that has been heavily rumored to be at this year's E3, although at this point it's almost customary for that to happen, and that's The Last Guardian. This game we've been waiting on a really long time, and at this point I really just want a confirmation one way or the other. If the rumors are true and the game does in fact make an appearance, we need to get a release date or at least a launch window. And if the rumors aren't true, they really need to just put the last nail in the coffin and confirm it as cancelled, because the biggest thing that I think could really harm this game is how much we've just been waiting and not really knowing what's going on. The worst thing they could do is make a simple announcement of, oh yeah, it's still happening, eventually, we're not sure when, because people have been waiting so long, especially after the momentous game that was Shadow of the Colossus, that whatever kind of hype they're building up in their heads over time is just going to make it to where this game can't live up to it. So they really need to decide, either announce it now and give us a for sure launch window, or just let it die, please, because the waiting is just making it worse. So those are just the 5 games that I'm most interested in learning about at this year's E3. There are, of course, a lot of other big titles that I left out, a few that I'm sure you guys are super excited about and are a little pissed that I left off the list. Just let me know down in the comments below what games you're really looking forward to this year. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button to let me know, as well as subscribe and follow me on Twitter. I'll be seeing you guys soon with some E3 coverage, but until then, I'm Kevin Kenson, and I'll see you guys later.